Right, welcome back to Wolverine MMA live stream. Sorry guys, got to watch me drinking my drink. Right. Wolverine MMA. Boys, quit. Over. Sorry. I'm already yelling at my dogs. Quit. Settle down. Settle down. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Get my dogs to calm down. All right. So we are watching UFC BJJ 8. You can watch it on Fight Pass or on YouTube. I should have included the link in. I mean, it's easy to find. Just look up UFC BJJ on YouTube. You'll find it. It's live right now. The second match just ended with a rear naked choke. I didn't get to see all of the first match. What'd I do? Sorry, guys. I went out of. Okay, this is our card for tonight. So I don't know what happened in this first match. Second match just ended with a rear naked choke. Not sure which guy is which here. Wasn't super familiar with either of these competitors. I know in the next match we got Keith Krikorian, who was on the road to the UFC BJJ tournament show that they did. So I don't know about his opponent. Then we've got, this is the big one, guys. This is the match I was really looking forward to. Dog is going nuts, man. Just ran back and forth across the house. Mach 1. Andy Varela versus Jet Thompson. This is a rematch from the PGF, Professional Grappling Federation. I tried to find video of the full match. I could not find it, but I'm super stoked for that match. We just saw Jet Thompson. He'd been undefeated since the match with Andy Varela, at least undefeated in PGF. I don't know if that was undefeated in all Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitions, but he had not lost a match in PGF since he lost to Andy Varela a couple seasons ago. So, all right. Then we've got Danilo Moreira versus Ethan Krillenstein. I'm not sure on those ones. Of course, we know who William Tackett is, brother of the champ. Andrew Tackett also competed for the belt a while back. One second, guys. I do have a bunch of other graphics today as far as MMA news since Sunday. So they're in no particular order because I just sent them all over to my computer like 2 minutes ago. Sorry, I had to run across town. I had to order dinner. We got Chinese food, really good stuff. If you live in Grand Junction, Colorado, and you haven't ate at China Jade, I highly recommend it. All right, so we'll be talking different MMA news in no particular order here in a few minutes. So there is no UFC this weekend. Next weekend, they just advertised it. They've got the Song Yadong versus Figueiredo matchup coming from, I believe, Macau, China. And I do believe it's another one that's going to be like at 4 in the morning. I'm probably not going to get up that early for that event. It's not like the Australian one that I was super interested in. That was an amazing event. It was worth getting up early for. I don't know about this one coming up. I'll decide when it gets closer. I know that weekend's going to be a super busy weekend for us, so I may just sit out that one, talk about the matches after the fact. All right, really quick, guys, I'm going to share my stream because I don't have a lot of people on. All right. But yeah, so lots of interesting stuff going on in the fight world. I saw today they cut like 4 or 5 more fighters from the UFC, several that just competed the weekend. The one that was kind of surprising, oh shoot, she just fought the weekend, and she won. She's ranked number 5. Well, we could just look at the rankings, couldn't we? Let me look here really quick, guys. Let me switch it to my other camera while I do this. Okay, this is our Krikorian match. I'm not gonna have the timer up today. No, I'm paying attention, but only halfway. Krikorian in the blue. Landon Elmore. I do believe I've seen him compete before. I don't remember if it was UFC BJJ or what I've seen him on. He's hopping around like a crazy person. Okay, so one thing, my biggest complaint with UFC BJJ is the uniforms. Oh, then we got an eye poke. I mean, I don't mind. The loose shorts are fine. A loose rash guard would drive me insane. I could not grapple with that. I might as well just be wearing a regular t-shirt. I don't know. That's a stupid complaint, but all right. Let me get to the UFC rankings. That's not going to get me there. I used to have the UFC rankings page just saved, and it would automatically come right up every time I open the browser, but apparently not anymore. All right, we're back on after the eye poke. 4 minutes and 24 seconds left in this match. At least on Fight Pass. YouTube seems to be a little bit behind. All right, so we're looking at women's rankings. Caitlin Vieira, that's her name. She got cut from the UFC. Women's, what are we at? Flyweight? No. Bantamweight. Ranked number 5, and apparently they didn't feel she was exciting enough. They cut her. She's gone. So I guess that moves everybody else in the rankings below her up a spot, since they decided not to even attempt to renew her contract. Wasn't the most exciting fight. She fought Cavalcanti, who apparently moved up in the rankings a spot, even though they haven't removed her opponent. So I'm not sure how that worked out for her. I think maybe because it was a decision and people below her hadn't fought recently enough. I'm not sure. That's weird. But yeah, so that means everybody's going to move up a spot in that weight class, and we'll probably see a new number 15 here too. So good for all the competitors that are left. So yeah, Yana Santos, she moved down a spot. She'll be moving back up a spot now. But yeah, kind of interesting that they would cut somebody in the top 5. Must have not just not felt that she was ever going to get close enough to a title shot to justify a new contract. All right. So let me go to some of my other things. Now we're gonna go up first, and then we'll come back down through my MMA news here. So yeah, the match after this is the one. Wait, yeah, match after this is the one that I really want to see. That Andy Varela versus Jet Thompson match. I'm surprised that's not like feature bout, you know, right before. Well, I guess William Tackett, you kind of have to have him. They're really trying to push him because his brother's the champ. All right, so moving up. Is this the actual correct card? McGregor versus Holloway 2. Ruiz Gandora, Cortez Wang. Isn't it Kong? I thought her name was Kong, but okay. Well, at least she's on there. Osborne versus Durden. Garbrandt versus Yanez. So we have 2 of the Codys on the same card. So hopefully they can beat the Cody curse and get wins. Yanez, we saw him not long ago, and he's pretty impressive. So that should be a good matchup. Hopefully Garbrandt does well, you know. I'd like to see him come back and get, you know, ranked again. I don't think he is in the rankings. That's a really competitive division. Crazy to have gone from champion to not even ranked in a few short years. Gregorian's got him down, looking to pass. This is something that I do definitely like more about the PGF, is how they like force action with their shot clock. So if they think you're stalling at all, they give you 20 seconds to improved position. All right, and then we got Almeida versus Pinaz, Riley versus Kamaka, Whitaker versus Krylov. So, I mean, former champ Whitaker moving up a division, fighting Krylov is the feature prelim. This is a really, really stacked card. We got a former champ Garbrandt, you know, as the first of the regular prelims. You know, very popular Tracy Cortez against Kong as the second match in the early prelims. Then we've got the debut of Gable Steveson, which is going to be awesome. I'm super looking forward to that. It's a rough one for his opponent. That's going to be tough. I mean, the dude can strike, and obviously he can wrestle. He's an Olympic gold medalist and a world champion. Then we've got Roy Val versus Kavanaugh. It's going to be crazy. That's a huge matchup. What are the two of them ranked? Let's look. Okay, so we made it through that round. We've got Richie Martinez coaching Gregorian out of 10th Planet Riverside. I would not want to roll with those huge gauges in my ears. He actually competed in MMA. They tape up the gauge, they pull the gauge out of their ear, and they tape their earlobe shut. But I mean, we've seen Fluffy Hernandez does that also. All right, where are we at? Anthony Hernandez, I just talked about. What rankings were we just looking for? We're looking for 125ers. Am I going the right way? Yes. Okay, so Kavanaugh ranked number 6. Roy Val ranked number 4. Dropped down from number 1 to number 4 in a few fights after losing to the Cop. Did he lose to somebody else? I'm thinking, so Kavanaugh also beat Moreno. Moreno dropped all the way down to number 9. And it's so crazy because when me and Tom were doing the podcast, you know, like a year ago, you watched the fights, cuz what's Elmore doing? Rich out. The Elmore match is, he's on his back right now. Sorry, I was thinking of the previous match. Gregorian is on top, Elmore on his back, full guard. So this is where I like the PGF because they force action here. Now, they do have 5-minute rounds, so, I mean, you got to work to get the finish, and the judges judge everything on if you are going for the finish. At least that's where they're supposed to. Sometimes I've seen some of the judging, and I've not been really excited about how the judging has gone. Whoa, so did he call a stalemate and come bring him back up to the feet? That I didn't know they did that. That was interesting. So apparently if you're in guard too long and neither guy's advanced, the referee can restart you. That's new. I hadn't seen that before, I don't think, in UFC BJJ. So yeah, like I was saying, Elmore's in guard, Rich of for life. If you're listening, I mean, you're obviously listening, you're in the chat. 10th Planet guys, but there's so many 10th Planet guys anymore. Like half the time you're rooting for a guy because he's 10th Planet, and you find out, his opponent is too. What are you doing, Jojo and the dog? All right. But like I was saying, yeah, when me and Tom were doing the podcast a year ago, hey man, from Brazil, nice. That's awesome. Got a viewer from Brazil. What do you think of the jiu-jitsu matches so far tonight? I know we saw a rear naked choke the previous match. What match are you most excited for? Oh, this is another person. This is Thiago Oliveira, 2064. Cool. I'm excited we got some different people on the stream. And Oh, both of those comments were from YouTube. Only showing that I've got one person watching from YouTube right now, but cool. I'm glad you guys are joining us. Yeah, what match are you guys most excited for tonight? I mean, you guys already know which one I'm excited for because I keep talking about the Varela Jet Thompson fight. Yeah, sometimes I root for the 10th Planet guy, and then I find out that his opponent is also a 10th Planet guy. There's so many 10th Planet schools now. I remember when I first got into 10th Planet, there were maybe 8 to 10 10th Planet places, most, I think pretty much all in the United States. And now it's all over the place, man. When I first started reading Eddie's books and, studying the system, there was so little. And now there's a ton. Sorry, guys, I just realized with my rankings like this, I need to scrunch them back in because we're cutting off Volk's face here. All right. But yeah, so when me and Tom were doing the podcast, I talked about how this division, flyweight 125, was kind of stuck because we had Pantoja was the champ, we had Brandon Royval was ranked #1, and Brandon Moreno, the former champ, was ranked #2. And all three of those guys had fought each other already. Pantoja had beat both of them multiple times, and they had gone back and forth against each other. So, but they'd pretty much cleared out the division. Now we see in comes Joshua Van, beats Royval, gets the title shot, and then beats Pantoja. Feel however you want about how that match ended. I'm not going to get into that again because I've talked about it so much. But that changed up the top of the division. And so then we had Royval lost another match to Kopp. We had Brandon Moreno lose to Tyra and then lose to Kavanaugh. So, I mean, things have gotten really mixed up in the division. All right, he gave me a peace sign, dude from Brazil. What match you looking forward to? All right, we got more people on YouTube now. Awesome. Stoked to have you guys on the stream. So I'm talking MMA news and I'm watching the matches. We got Gregorian. Looks like he's been pretty much in control this match. There was a restart from full guard, which I hadn't seen before. I guess if you're in closed guard and neither competitor is trying to advance, the referee will restart you. So that was interesting. We saw an eye poke early on. Gregorian getting some takedowns. Passing guard. His opponent spinning around, trying to get back to guard. Ooh, he did go for a triangle there. That was pretty sick. Pretty nice, but I mean, never was Gregorian in a huge amount of damage and danger, I would say. And then he passed his guard again. I mean, if we're going for aggression, we definitely got to give it to Gregorian. I think I called him Gregorian, but it's Gregorian. Oh, man. Tried for a flying arm bar. Now he's inverted. Trying to get the knees in between him and Gregorian. This is an interesting match. I don't feel like anybody's been super close to a sub here. And throwing up that wild triangle, yes, he had his neck and arm in there, but he was never anywhere near closing that. So yes, like I was saying though, the 125-pound division has totally changed. Heavyweights definitely opened way up with the addition of all these new guys coming in. I mean, we've got Stevenson, we've got Alex Pereira in the mix at heavyweight now, going for the interim belt next against Gon. We've got still, of course, we've got Volkov at the top. Most people feel Volkov beat Cyril Gon. So, I mean, he's always one match away, one win potentially away from a title shot. Hopefully Tom Aspinall gets back in there, or they release him from his contract and he goes and fights against Francis Ngannou and MVP. That wouldn't be bad. If they can't work with him, we'll see what happens with Dana White and the new manager of Tom Aspinall don't see eye to eye. So it could be, you know, a real prolonged negotiation to get anything done. I wish the UFC would just say, okay, there's going to be competition. That's the other story we got to talk about here. Eventually, we're going to talk about MVP, but also, if you guys saw the news today, Scott Coker is starting another MMA organization. So that's awesome. Scott Coker, you guys know of him. He was with Bellator. He was with Strikeforce. He's been around for a long time as an MMA promoter. He's got some real heavy hitters as far as celebrities and money behind him. I guess they're putting $60 million into it initially to get it started. And one of the owners is a pro skateboarder, the legend Tony Hawk. So crazy. Speaking of skateboarders, wouldn't it be cool if the dude from Ridiculousness, Rob Dyrdek, like got involved in like commentating on MMA? That'd be cool. I don't know. That was just a random thought. I don't know why that came to my head. All right, so just still talking about the matches ups coming up. This one is awesome to me. Then a division up, we got Batista versus Sandhagen is a rematch. Apparently Batista fought Sandhagen. I believe it was his first match in the UFC. So, and Sandhagen won. Let's look really quick and let me go here. Let's just probably the easiest way to do this would be to I clicked on something I didn't mean to. All right, Fight Finder. So Gregorian's still on top. Landon Elmore has not been on top at all this entire match. I don't feel like he's been close to a submission. Gregorian really hasn't built him out a submission, but he's passed guard a ton. Man, he could get a walk, or he could potentially get a north-south choke or something off of this. He's reaching back around the head from side control. If you've got their arm blocked up, you can do a walk around here. Darce, one of my favorite Darce setups. There's 30 seconds left, and wow, another restart by Shaolin, the referee. I'm not going to question him as a referee because he's one of the greatest jiu-jitsu competitors of all time. If he's calling for restarts, he must really want more action. Like I said, I had not seen that before. As if it will lead to more action, though. I mean, even if they end up back in the exact same position after a restart, at least you had to work to get back to that position. Let's see here. So McGregor versus Holloway 2. Let's look really quick. So when Sandhagen and Batista fought the first time, we're just going to click on Batista. Mario Batista. Of course, he had the win over Patchy Mix, which really got, well, I mean, he also had the win over Jose Aldo. A little bit of controversy in that one. Split decision win over Jose Aldo, the legend. Then he beat Patchy Mix, and then he lost to Umar. Then he had the matchup with Vincius Oliveira last, which he won by a rear naked choke. So let's go down here. So yep, that was in fact his first fight in the UFC against Corey Sandhagen. So he lost by a submission in the first round by an armbar back in 2019. So we're getting to see the rematch of that. Should be very interesting. I know everybody wanted to see Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley. Even though he didn't get that on the White House card, he's got to be pretty happy. So Krikorian won by a decision. If you're on your back, you got to get close to submissions, man. The judges really favor top position, passing guard. Still at the lake. So, yeah. We had so this matchup is a really good one. Like I said, Sandhagen, I know he wanted to be fighting O'Malley at the White House, and it didn't happen for whatever reason. But this has got to be a close second on what he would have wanted. And yes, it's a rematch with somebody he already beat, but he's on a Conor McGregor card. Everybody probably does a little bit better money-wise and promotion-wise when they're on a Conor McGregor card. Okay, then we got Benoit St. Denis versus Paddy Pimblett. That is going to be a crazy matchup. Like I said, you know, probably Benoit St. Denis has cleaner stand-up, but Paddy may have more power, even though he's a little bit wilder and crazier on the stand-up. Then we got the rematch of Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor. How long ago was the first fight? It's been a while. We know it was at 145. Look at all the fights he's had since. My gosh. Conor McGregor, 2013. So we're talking 13 years ago. It'll be almost 13 years ago since their first fight, and they're rematching. And look at all the fights that he has had since then. Conor's had quite a few, but nowhere near that number. He's fought a who's who in the division, and now at one. I mean, and then he moved up to 155. Now they're going to be at 170. I don't know. Do I have any of this? So multiple former opponents of theirs have been discussing the fact that, let me see if I've got it here. I had several different quotes. So obviously, because of activity, Max Holloway is the favorite, even though we're up another weight class. Oh, that's a good one. Jim Miller signed a new deal with the UFC, so he's not retiring or going anywhere. We got Barolo versus Pyfer, August 15th. We'll talk more about that in a bit. This another good fight. This is a story about Scott Coker and all that. We'll get to Conor McGregor's quote there. This is about the fight on MVP the other night. Oh, this is our turtle, Bowser. He climbed up out of the water. I thought it was a cool picture. So I don't have him streaming on Turtle Vision because that camera that I've got out there won't stream continuously. And his other camera was the one that I got replaced with the one that's on the other turtles. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on with my Apple account. I keep getting all these random messages. So there were several people who know Max. Okay, here we go. At 155, when I fought him last, he had power behind his shots. I got to think at 170, he's going to have even more power. That's Dustin Poirier talking about Max Holloway. So he's fought both guys. So what Dustin says is going to be, you know, that's going to give us a lot of insight into this match coming up. Sorry, guys. Message over on this screen, too. Oh, my gosh. And it's over here. Stop with all these stupid messages, Apple. When is the main event? How do I watch you? Let me snag the link here really quick, and I will put it in the chat, guys. Let me go to YouTube. Oh, I'm gonna have to open a new page. Sorry, guys. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing here. I'm doing it on. Let me grab the link. I will put it in the chat just in case you guys don't have it. Okay, so share, copy link. All right, here we go, guys. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Sorry, guys. I should have put the link in the original. Okay. All right, so in the chat, guys, I just shared the link, the YouTube link for UFC BJJ. like I said, I'm watching it on Fight Pass. Apparently my Fight Pass subscription has not ran out yet. So switch back to this screen for a minute. All right. So yeah, there you go, guys. If you're not watching, so the match I'm looking forward to most is the next matchup. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Mikey Musumeci too. A couple of the other matches, but Andy Varela, I like his style. Yeah, he talks a lot of trash, but he usually backs it up. Jet Thompson, crazy good. We saw that on PGF, and his last match he ever lost in PGF was, or the only match he had lost in PGF up until the finals this year was the one against Andy Varela. Sorry, camera's a little high here, so I'll lower it down so you can get my full beard there. All right, so whoa, okay, so this match apparently changed up. Andy Varela is out. So I did hear that there were some injuries. Andy Varela is out. We've got Derek Rayfield, also a 10th Planet guy, also a guy with attitude, going up against Jet Thompson instead. All right, guys, I did not realize this was happening. So yeah, I pulled this up just the other day. So this matchup has changed in the last day or two. Rayfield, he had a little bit of some issues in PGF. He lost points because of penalties, because he was being a little rough. It's weird. I mean, you're trying to choke people out and stuff, but when you grab somebody by the throat and shake them. All right, so we're starting, guys. Derek Rayfield versus Jet Thompson. And yeah, Rayfield in instead of Andy Varela. I don't know what happened there. Rayfield's pretty exciting too. He's another 10th Planet guy. Ooh, Thompson tries to jump for an arm or a triangle here. See, this is where these loose-fitting rash guards would really annoy me, because it's like flipping all over. So these guys, I'm pretty sure, competed against each other in PGF. Ooh, we got rubber guard going by Rayfield. Oh, switches it up. Man, this is some fast-paced action. And now he's looking for the pass. Okay, so Rayfield is also another 10th Planet Las Vegas guy, as was Jet Thompson's original opponent, Varela. Man, they're scrambling all over the place. Rayfield was in a little bit of a bad spot. Now Thompson passes guard again. Full mount by Thompson. This kid is so freaking good, man. Oh, good move by Rayfield. He pulls the leg over, and Thompson goes to his back. Now has him in full guard. Thompson is really good at getting to the back from here. And I thought Rayfield was going to bring the leg over the hip from Thompson's full guard. I've seen Jordan, is it Weir? Another 10th Planet Las Vegas guy do that. He pulls. Okay, apparently we got what? Emergency. 7th Street and Bennett Avenue. Is that even in Grand Junction? I don't know where that is. I have no idea where Bennett Avenue is. There's a 7th Street in town. But yeah, another one of the 10th Planet Las Vegas guys, Jordan, I think it's Weir. I'm not positive, but I've seen him. He actually did this move twice in a qualifying tournament at 10th Planet HQ, where he would be in somebody's guard, and chest to chest in somebody's guard, he would pull his foot up over his opponent's hip, and then he'd pull his other foot over his hip and be sitting on his rear end, and then just slowly fall back, which would then break his opponent's guard, and then he could shove their legs to the opposite side and ankle lock on either leg. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it before. He called it lazy man's guard pass, but it was the wildest thing I've ever seen. I've wanted to try it. I don't even know if I have the flexibility to pull that off anymore. I haven't had a chance to try that on anybody, but it was a pretty crazy maneuver, and he did it 2 matches in a row. So what I like about the 10th Planet is there's so much creativity, adding all these new moves. So he's got full mount. Rayfield again pulling the foot into the hip. So this is a setup to then try to spin out and either pass or attack the leg, break the guard. So now we see he's on top with that foot in the hip. So what's he going to do with this? He hasn't broke his guard. He is bringing the other leg. So he's bringing the other leg around. So he's almost doing that same move that I was just talking about. He's got to kick the other leg over, though. Oh, he's reaching back for an ankle. This is interesting. Now we got Jet Thompson trying to attack the outside leg, but he doesn't really have good position to do so. And now he's got the foot over the hip, and he's reaching back. He stopped reaching back. Now he's reaching forward for his own ankle, trying to pull it in tighter. Jet Thompson sitting all the way up. He's trying for an arm triangle. That's really awkward there. Okay, he's still got the foot all the way across the hip now. Let's see what he can do with this. So he's almost back on top, but now Rayfield, he hasn't popped his feet loose. So he's still stuck. What's that about? What is going on here? All right, so round ends. So there's Andy Varela in his corner. So I'm guessing Andy had some sort of injury in the last couple days for this match to have changed. Big opportunity for Rayfield stepping into UFC BJJ, though. And he hasn't done anything dirty this match. Like I said, he had one really, really bad night on PGF where he got a little out of control. Made it kind of hard to root for him. I don't know the guys in Jet Thompson's corner. Jet Thompson, really young. I think he may only be 21. He's like 18 his first year in the PGF. I don't remember. These guys probably did go up against each other at some point during the regular season because they were not on the same team. Or were they? Man, I'm trying to remember what team Rayfield was on. I know Rayfield was on the Phenoms, I think. So they should have had him. Oh, he's very close to a knee bar right here. Some crazy acrobatics. He might be able to extend and really crank this. Oh, and he escapes. Good stuff by Rayfield there, man. That's got to be a big point in his favor. At this point, I don't feel like Thompson's been close to a submission now. He's back in rubber guard here. He's got the arm trap too, so that's good. It's called New York. Oh, now he's and I believe this is generally considered a crackhead control or invisible collar, maybe. I think invisible collar, you've got to have the forearm on the opposite side of the neck. Thompson escapes that. Thompson passes. Rayfield looking to get back to guard or some sort of scramble. Oh shoot. Audio only in right ear. Okay. You're saying you're only getting, are you listening to me and only getting audio in one ear? Man, this is a lot of comments, guys, and they're all coming from YouTube today. So we're streaming live to YouTube and Rumble. Normally when I do MMA news live streams, I only stream to Rumble. So if you guys can follow me on Rumble, that would be awesome. I am 5 away from 100 on my Rumble followers for all of my channels total. So Thompson has, I guess you would consider this full guard. He's spun way out to the side, looking for some sort of submission attack. Rayfield attacking a Kimura. He's not past guard. Interesting. Taking a lot of risks. They're taking risks, but they're not exposing themselves to submissions on the other guy, though. These guys are, it's a good matchup for a last-minute matchup. Oh! Thompson back to just about a full mount. He's got the foot over the body here. Crossing his feet and mount. We got Rayfield stepping on his feet, trying to break that loose. Long till Rayfield brings the foot back up into the hip again. So every time he's been mounted, this hasn't looked super worried about being mounted. This is dangerous, though. Now he's isolating an arm way up above Rayfield's head. And I think Rayfield got the arm back. He did. 50 seconds left in round number 2. Let's check my sound, guys. Oh, man. Rayfield trying to break those feet loose again. I don't see a ton of like lockdown half guard. I think there's so many 10th planet guys out there that a lot of people, ooh, he's going for like a face-to-face naked choke here. This is dangerous for Rayfield. Rayfield turns his head in. That's good. Trying for some sort of weird escape here. This is an odd position, and the round ends. All right. So, you know, yeah, I really want to see Andy Varela in here, but this has been a really, really good match. Last minute replacement of Derek Rayfield taking the spot of what I believe is his coach, Andy Varela. So, I mean, that's high praise when your coach has to pull out of a match and asks you to take it in his place. Oh, all right. So while we're waiting for the next match, I have a bunch of different MVP things. So this is Ariel Helwani talking about how the payouts for the Netflix card aren't real, that those numbers that come out, and when the UFC numbers come out, he says they're not usually aren't real either. So that makes me say, why, if the states say you're required to disclose payout, why don't they actually like reveal what they're actually paying? I don't understand. What's the point? Ooh, Derek Rayfield pushes him all the way up to the top of the bowl. Now it's on top. And once again, we got Thompson really rotating perpendicular. Rayfield with a leg over the thigh. He's probably going to attack a leg here again. Looks like he is. This is an awkward position, and they're up kind of still on the edge of the bowl. Now we got Thompson going for an Achilles lock. Rayfield looks like he's pretty much out. Oh, Thompson. Oh, he got him. Thompson got him. Ah. So, yeah, it was like an Achilles, but it was at a weird angle, so it was cranking the ankle a direction it shouldn't have been going. So, yeah, that makes me wonder why if states require or athletic commissions require you to disclose fighter pay, why would you put out like some sort of minimum amount instead of what they actually made? It makes it pointless for states to say you have to disclose. Now let's watch this again. So he's rolling, 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 and he's trying to get out. Thompson brings the leg back. So awkward because he doesn't have the leg. Oh yeah, it was sideways. His heel popped out. So when he's cranking that ankle and he's cranking against the shin bone, and that's super, super dangerous. Rayfield very disappointed, but man, he just lost to one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world. Oh, man, there's a match for, well, no, Tackett's 155, isn't he? No, Tackett's 170. He is 170. So, yeah, maybe we see Jet Thompson against Andrew Tackett. That would be interesting. I'd like to see that in the near future in UFC BJJ. So, yeah, there's, sorry, checking, see if we had any more comments. All right. Yeah, so why don't they reveal the actual amount? That's weird. Let's move on. Okay, so this was what I just was talking about. Max Holloway saying how much more power Dustin will have at 170 than 155. But you gotta say the same thing about Conor McGregor. But then you also have the fact that that Max has a pretty endless gas tank, where 170-pound Conor McGregor, we don't know how he's going to perform cardio-wise. And I know there was talk that Conor McGregor wanted a 3-round fight, but this is 5 rounds. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this weight changes everything, because we're going to see, a bigger Max Holloway. And I mean, we know that Conor McGregor has been walking around a lot bigger since his injury. And we know he was probably using performance enhancing drugs to get that leg healed up, which, I mean, that's one of the cases where I can't really blame a person as much. Yeah, when you're in fight camp and when you've got a fight coming up, I don't think you should be allowed to do those things. When you're out of fight camp and, dealing with an injury, whatever you got to do, to get healed up, if it's under the supervision of a doctor, I don't really completely disagree with that. Jorge Masvidal also predicts Conor McGregor will get smoked like a brisket by Max Holloway at UFC 329. Brisket, that sounds good. I don't know, man. If he's super motivated, this could be really interesting. Yes, he's been away for a long time. He's coming back from a massive injury. So, I mean, anything could happen. It's Gina Carano with John Jones and Cain Velasquez, two of the greatest UFC fighters ever. I still say, man, if it weren't for all the injuries, Cain Velasquez could have very well been the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time. Man, that fight, the one that always sticks out in my mind is when he won the belt, beating the living snot out of Brock Lesnar. That was an amazing performance. All right. So this is pay-per-view buys for UFC 300 was 615,000. UFC 328 viewers on Paramount was 8,000 or 8,400,000 viewers. So that's a pretty crazy number, but I believe they said that the MVP card had 12 million viewers. But you got to think, how many more subscribers does Netflix have over Paramount? Let's look it up. How many total subscribers does Netflix have? As of July of 2022. Okay, what the heck? How many total subscribers does Netflix have? As of June of 2022, they had approximately 222 million paid subscribers worldwide to Netflix. Oh, all right. Now my phone's trying to open Netflix. I don't want to open Netflix. How many subscribers does Paramount Plus have? 32.8 million. So 43.8 million by September was their estimates. So, I mean, let's just say between 32 and 40 million at this point. So, yeah, obviously Netflix has way more subscribers than Paramount. So, more people were able to watch it. Now, I don't know if you guys saw ticket sales. You guys saw that crowd. The crowd, I saw those lights. I thought those were people. Those were empty seats. The crowd was not good. And they said the last UFC to have that small of a crowd was it in Singapore? It was the one where Prohatska and it's the one where Prohatska and Glover Teixeira fought. Let's just look up. Let's see here. That they said that was the last UFC to have as small of a crowd as the MVP card had. So let's go on Fight Finder really quick and look up Glover. Fight Finder. I'm gonna butcher his last name. How it's spelled? That is not how you spell it. Dang it. How many Glovers are there that fight in the UFC? I have to find this a different way if I can't remember how the heck to spell his last name. I thought that was right. Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay. Well, huge fan of Glover Teixeira. Okay, but Yuri Prohatska, that was in 2022. So, I mean, we're a year out of COVID, but it was, let's look, Singapore? Am I right where that was? Yes, it was in Singapore. That was the last UFC to have as small of a crowd as the MVP card had. So, kind of crazy. All the way back in 2022 to find as small of a crowd at a UFC as what they had on MVP. So that's another question, you know. I was listening to a podcast on Rumble the other day, the quartering, and Jeremy, the host of that, was talking about how he kind of wanted to go see it because I guess he's met Gina Carano, thinks she's super cool, wanted to go to the event, but then he thought, man, I'd have to buy a ticket, I have to get up on a plane, I have to do all this to go there, but I could just watch it on Netflix with what I already pay for. So, I mean, good point, and that's probably, I mean, the accessibility, yeah, do you want to go to a live event? Oh, yeah, that's awesome going to a live event, but when you can watch it from the comfort of your own couch for a service you already pay for, I mean, are you really going to spend all that money on a hotel room, on a plane ticket, and on tickets to an event? I don't know. So the accessibility may have been part of what hurt them as far as ticket sales. The question is, will the second MVP event get as many viewers as this first one did? Or is it going to be, yeah, that was the best one, and now we're not going to get as many people watching? People were fascinated because they wanted to see Gina versus Ronda, and they got to see it for 17 whole seconds. All right, back to all this. Sorry, guys. I get sidetracked real easy. So we're Simple Man Martial Arts. So this is the second competitor I've seen from that gym. So 17 million live +1 viewers. I don't know what that means. Live +1 viewers. I know 17 million though. 12.4 million for the entire triple header. It says 17 million just for the main event. So that's pretty wild to think about. But more people had access because they already have Netflix. Same thing. Global peak viewership on Netflix. But I did hear, you know, the boxing match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson had way more. Oh, man, this dude's got these back. Ethan Krellingston from Canada has Danilo Mora's back already. Danilo Mora, so we've seen him. He was on the UFC BJJ show. Now I feel like he might have been champion and might have just lost his belt one of the most recent events, but I may be thinking of the wrong guy. Oh man, he is in a bad way. He's got a body triangle here. Looking for a choke. I saw a match that it was a PGF match when I was looking for the and it's over. Wow. This guy could be going for a title shot next at 155. What, Jojo? Yeah, I was watching a match on YouTube, PGF match, and the guy had the other guy's back, and he did. Instead of going for the choke, he was trying for the choke, and finally he just switched it into like a full Nelson and just cranked the dude's chin down into his chest. That was a nice pass. Super good body control there, and to take the back the way he did, that was smooth. Get that body triangle. Attack that choke. Just going back and forth from one thing to another. Attack the choke, attack the arms. Eventually just solidified that choke and finished him. So we've got the streak stopper, Ethan Ewing, has another match coming up. You know, Malcolm Wellmaker was 10-0. His last opponent was 14-0. He beat both of them. Now he's going against Farid Basharat, who's 15-0. This guy could be a future champ, man. Keep your eye out on Ethan Ewing. He came in short notice for that Wellmaker fight, and Wellmaker had so much hype around him, and he just dominated that match. All right. So this is, now we just talked about what Ariel Helwani was saying about disclosed money. So it says she made 2.2 million, and it's saying that Makhachev got paid 10.2 million. So who knows what numbers are actually accurate when they're saying that the numbers aren't accurate that they release. It's also talking about the 17 million global viewers. Okay, so here we go, guys. 108 million viewers for the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. So I feel like Mike Tyson is one of the most well-known fighters of all time. Jake Paul, people tune in to hope that he gets beat. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. So now that one was against, you know, a current champion, current top boxer, and that one only got 33 million views. So it's not just about boxing. Then Canelo versus Terrence Crawford got 41 million viewers. That one was not on Netflix. So was it? What was that on? I thought there was something. Isn't Dana White involved in some way in that fight? I don't remember promoting that. Well, let's move on though. It's hard to compare the boxing numbers to MMA. I think if it's not like the absolute highest, biggest name boxer out there anymore, you're not going to get as many those crazy numbers. Rousey versus Carano breaks the record for most watched MMA fight of all time. All right, we talked about that already. So this is the Basharat Ewing fight. We just talked about. So apparently, Robertson is getting the shot number 5 against Mackenzie Dern. I don't know why Wei Lee isn't getting the shot yet. Maybe she's not ready. I don't know what's up with that, but interesting. This is from Fight Bananas. They're usually pretty accurate. I don't have any reason to believe that that's not correct. The guy that just won, I've seen him compete before. He's really good. Obviously from that. So the Scott Coker thing, I don't know if we've heard of a name for this event. I did hear it's not going to be till next year. So 2027, UFC is going to have another event trying to compete with them on top of, PFL as much as they can compete. I think PFL is going the wrong direction. Same with ONE FC. ONE FC is now having like paid subscription stuff where you have to pay for a new service just to watch their big events. They did that last week. So I think these events are going the wrong direction. You need to get on a streaming service that people already have if you want to compete with the UFC. This is just talking, I guess. Now, this is MVP 03. I don't know what that means. I think this is a boxing match, Holly Holm. If Holly Holm was doing an MMA match, that would be interesting. And people were talking about, would Ronda come back for a rematch with Holly Holm? I don't think so. She's happy she won against Gina. She's not going to get in there with Holly, who's been busy this whole time. Even if Holly... So, if you look back at Holly Holm's record in the UFC, she lost very few non-title fights, but the only title fight she ever won was the one with Ronda. Every other title fight she had through her entire career in the UFC, she lost. I mean, the very next one against Misha, she lost. Then she also lost to Cyborg. She lost to Nunes. I thought she won the Durandamy fight and should have been the 145-pound champ. That was BS to me. That Durandamy could hit her after the bell in multiple rounds and not ever get penalized. And even without a penalty, I still thought Holly Holm won that fight, even though, she should have been penalized for hitting her after the bell. So I guess PFL is bringing back Benson Henderson for another matchup. So Benson Henderson, one of my all-time favorites in the UFC. People might think his style was not the most exciting, but I just he was very versatile. He did a lot of different things. He was more of a grinder fighter. He didn't have a lot of finishes, but he would try some of the craziest techniques, foot stomps, kicking, heel kicking somebody in the thigh from standing up against the fence. He was always looking for some sort of attack, no matter what position he was in. Up kicks. More about this whole Scott Coker deal. So Global League, I don't know exactly what they're gonna call it. I hope they don't call it GFL because we already saw that GFL fall through. Okay, so says huge losses. The highly anticipated showdown between Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano was supposed to be a blockbuster moment, but by the end of the night, it felt more like a misfire than a milestone. Fans complained about the lack of action, the pacing, and the overall delivery, leaving social media flooded with disappointment instead of praise. Behind the scenes, the bigger hit landed on the business side. Jake Paul's gamble as a promoter backed by Netflix reportedly turned into a costly loss, raising serious doubts about the future of their partnership, especially in MMA. What was meant to be a statement event quickly became a cautionary tale about hype that couldn't deliver. See, I don't agree. It says estimate loss due to controversial sports deals. I don't know what that means. It says they lost $126 million somehow. I don't know what they're talking about. Quarter 2, 20. Now this is something totally different. So a lot, I don't agree with that, guys. If they had the highest amount of people watching than any MMA event ever, even if their live ticket sales sucked, that's still a pretty big deal. I think, I mean, Netflix had to be happy about that. I mean, and I mean, they run commercials just like Paramount. You know, they have to do that to pay for the event. So, um, they're getting paid from the commercials. Oh, this, this is an MMA roasted thing. What's his name? Oh shoot, trying to think of his name. He's on Gutfeld all the time. He actually came here to town and made fun of me at a weigh-in. He was a special guest, and I'm drawing a blank of his name, but he's under MMA roasted on everything. If you look him up, you'll figure out his name. Super funny guy. He does MMA jokes about MMA fighters all the time. This is a good one. John Jones versus Francis Ngannou would be incredible. Francis walks around at 275 pounds, and Jones walks around because he's not allowed to drive. Man, he makes fun of John Jones a lot. It's pretty funny. He says sometimes his job is scary because he's paid to make fun of UFC fighters. Francis Ngannou staring at Felipe Lin's unconscious body, and Herb Dean still trying to figure out if he's conscious. So I'm not sure why Herb Dean took so long. It was such a shocking end. I mean, props to, you know, Ngannou for not hitting him again once he was unconscious, because he probably could have, as slow as Herb Dean was at getting in there. But you know, Herb Dean was already under a ton of criticism for the fight earlier in the night, which I guess there's now legal action happening. They're trying to fight the decision on that one, where they said he was unconscious the last second of the last round. To me, I feel like that match should almost be a no contest. If what's his name? If Morales had let go of the choke immediately when Herb Dean said let him go, and he was unconscious, and yes, you could say, oh, he was definitely unconscious the last second of the fight, but he held the choke for like an additional 2 or 3 seconds, so he could have passed out after the bell. So, and I guess according to the judges scorecards up until then, he probably would have, the guy that got choked unconscious probably would have won the match. So that's a tough one. I feel like it should be a no contest, and they should just rematch next event. And yeah, Herb Dean's getting all kinds of criticism for that. And so whenever a referee gets criticized for something he does earlier in the night, you can pretty much guarantee him or one of the other referees will make a huge mistake later on in the night, because they're so nervous about making a mistake, they'll make a mistake the opposite way. So if a fight gets let go too long, then they'll stop a fight too soon. So it snowballs when there's a referee's mistake. All right, we got William Tackett versus Manuel Ribamar right now. Tackett, this is a middleweight bout. Tackett's brother is the 170-pound champ. Ooh, Tackett in a little bit of a guillotine danger here. Looks like he's past that, though. He is. And he's trying to pass the guard here. It's in about kind of like a half guard, knee shield half guard here, which a lot of times is a setup for leg. He is past now. Stepping over the leg. Pretty much almost put himself back in the half guard, but he's got like half a butterfly here. Best summer of all time. We got in June, we've got Ilya, and then July, we've got Conor McGregor, and then August, we've got Makhachev. Good leg dexterity, but he gets passed again. He almost had his back, and now he's back to guard again. Nice moves. Ribamar, the Brazilian, has very good leg dexterity. He's able to bring those legs back in very well when Tackett passes. Now he's going to attack a leg. What are you doing? I have no idea. Go call her if you want. All right. So, moving on through my... Oh, that's all my news, guys. This was... I kind of skipped past this one. So this is a picture of aged Michael Chandler saying, I almost fought Conor McGregor. So sure, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. So poor Michael Chandler never got the fight he was promised. They did all the stuff with Ultimate Fighter pretty much for nothing. It was all about promoting that fight. Tackett working to pass again. Now Tackett's on bottom. Inverted. Could potentially go for like a reverse triangle. He's trying to attack the legs. No, he can't go for a reverse triangle because one leg is between his opponent's legs. If he gets that leg out, he could, though. Right now, he's wanting to attack the legs. Oh, pushes him away. Back to, oh man, some crazy guard position. And he sweeps him over. I don't know if he swept him or if Ribamar went out to the leg. Oh, anything I didn't talk about, we've talked about. So UFC are probably going to have more competition, which is a good thing. We'll still have to see, you know, can fighters get out of their contracts? Are they going to have to fight out their contracts? I believe Jones has 8 fights left with the UFC. So what can he do legally? If they've offered him fights and he's said no, well, I don't know what happens there. Can he get out of that contract? If so, would the fight with Ngannou ever happen or not? I don't know. So if you look at it, UFC 328 had 8,400 viewers. And can you let the dog back in, JoJo? And the MVP card during the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano fight had 12 million viewers. But when you've got such a bigger pool you could draw from with Netflix than Paramount, it kind of makes the UFC numbers look that much better because there's so many less subscribers. Ooh, heel hook coming here. Oh, man. Oh, he's grimacing and he taps. Tackett gets the submission. Good for him. I'm trying to think if he's won a match since he lost the match. I believe he went for the 185-pound title and lost. But then I'm not sure if the guy who had the 185-pound belt still has it. Guys, I hate to do this, but I'm going to eat a little bit of my noodles now. Maybe. I can get my noodles separated from each other. Get off the couch, Trevor. But to me, that makes me think the Paramount deal is better if you're just purely going off how many people are watching it compared to when they're on pay-per-view. Because, I mean, that was a huge card. UFC 300 was huge. 615,000 compared to 8,400,000. That's a huge difference. And anybody who criticizes, you know, all the trash talk between Strickland and Chimaev, mostly coming from Strickland, that number would not be nearly as high if it weren't for what he did, you know? Like he said, he was selling the fight. So, I mean, we got two guys who probably aren't the biggest fans of Conor McGregor saying that Max Holloway is going to have a huge edge against Conor McGregor coming back. I mean, so we're on to the title matches in UFC BJJ, by the way, guys. I've consistently had more people on YouTube tonight than on Rumble. That's pretty wild. I never did advertise the stream. I said I was going to, and I didn't. My dog is licking himself in the background. Yeah, let's see here. Share, copy link. What, Audrey?
No, that she needs to let me be. I'm working out in the garage, and she's freaking following me and bugging me.
Cool. Go down to the garage when I see her again. I'll tell her to leave you alone. Tell her to come up here. All right.
I was getting a popsicle.
Okay, Jojo. Quit following Audrey around, Jojo. All right, let's see here. Let me try to do some advertising here. My 17-year-old seems to think that my 9-year-old granddaughter is following her and not leaving her alone. All right, got that saved. All right, I'm going to keep on sharing the link around, guys. Like I said, if you could give me a follow, that would be fantastic. Right, former training partner of mine getting ready for a fight. Not sure where, but shout out to Jason Clayton, a longtime 8th Street Gym fighter. I gotta give him a strength and honor. That's what I used to always tell everybody before they fight. All right. I was just talking about him earlier. That's weird. All right. Nothing bad. That's old gym talk back in the day. All right. So we're coming up to the title matches. Women's title fight first. What are these girls? 135 or 145? Oh, maybe I should look back here. Bantamweight 135. All right. Share the link around here. I'm not sure what I'm even sharing this on. Just anything MMA that comes up or jiu-jitsu. I'm trying to share the link. Get a few more viewers here. UFC roster update. Thimba Gorimbo has officially retired from MMA. So what do you guys think about Colby Covington retiring? This, I don't know what that means. I guess he just goes and does wrestling and makes some money doing RAF. I believe he's undefeated in that. Do you think that who's telling the truth? Because I mean, oh, Bo Nickel said that he wanted to go against Colby Covington, that they offered Colby Covington the match, and he refused. If that's the case, then another thing about UFC welterweight Gorimbo retiring. If they offered him the fight and he refused and then complained, hey, you didn't give me a fight in the White House card, pretty stupid. Weight cut excuse. Okay, this is just Duplessis talking about the weight cut excuse with Shemaev. I feel like, yeah, his performance probably wasn't as good because he bulked up so much to try to go to 205 and then cut way back down. Next month, the UFC White House event is going to break the all-time viewership record set by Rousey versus Carano, so Rousey won't be able to brag about her having the biggest fight in MMA history for long. Then the following month, McGregor versus Max may beat the White House numbers. We're going to have May the 1st and 3rd most watched MMA cards ever. June, the most watched MMA card ever. July, the new most watched MMA card ever. Potentially, MMA on Netflix and Paramount is out here beating records left and right. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Really interesting to see what happens. Michael Morales posted, I always create my own luck, and that's why I'll be the next champion. So Morales seems to think he's getting the next title shot. Ian Gary went to Georgia to train wrestling specifically for the match because he thought he had the title shot. And now, you know, Islam says he'd like to go up against Prates. So who gets the title shot? I don't even know at this point. What do you guys think about what people have said about Nate Diaz's performance? I don't think Nate looked bad. It was just that Mike Perry looked so good. That was my opinion. But you know, I'm one who always likes to give, you know, benefit of the doubt and credit to competitors. Yeah, I I do think he got hurt to the body, and that kind of slowed him down from the normal pace we would have seen. But Mike Perry's just such an in-your-face fighter. I mean, he's a Nate Diaz style fighter. So, all right, we're getting ready for our women's match. Women's title match. It's only women's match tonight. Oh, I'm hoping, I would like to see them do either a 145-pound match or see um, Frank Mir's daughter move down to 135 and compete for the belt there because she's looked super impressive. And I think she's competed on here twice. Bella Mir. Such a sweet name for such a freaking killer. Yeah, I would definitely like to see her with a title shot in some weight class in UFC BJJ. It would be wild if she was. I believe she just won the national championships in wrestling. It'd be crazy if she was UFC BJJ champion and then went on to be an MMA champion also. Right. JoJo, quit following Audrey around.
Jumping on the shoe.
Right. Brazil versus Brazil. Mora's looked really, really good. I don't know much about her. Oh, man, that was quite the throw there, whatever that was. I'm going to look over on the other screen here because, well, I can't because then I'll miss what's actually happening. I wanted to see that throw, what she just did. Is it an arm spin? That was a crazy move. It was so fast. Now we see Mora looking for the hip sweep. So the challenger, Sabrina Gondim. How does she do this? I'm trying to watch here and still see what's going on live. Yeah, it was basically an arm spin. That was sick, man. Arm spin straight into the side of the bowl. So Mora working from full guard. I was talking about how the 125-pound division is opened up, but so is the heavyweight division. I mean, you got Alex Pereira in there, you've got Gable Steveson coming in, you've got um oh what's his face? Hokett in there. Things are getting pretty wild and crazy in the heavyweight division of the UFC. Let's look at the rankings for heavyweight. We're talking about it. Heavyweight. All right. I don't need to shrink it down because I got. All right. Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane, Alexander Volkov still holding that number 2 spot. Pavlovich is still in number 3. Waldo Cortez Acosta, having just lost to Volkov by a decision, is in number 4. Josh Hokett, the newcomer to the rankings, all the way up at 5 already. Sergey Spivak is in 6. Now, and then we got Curtis Blades, Kuniev. Who beat Kuniev? Somebody just came in and beat Kuniev. I'm trying to remember who that was. Didn't somebody just beat? Now let me click on his name here. Kuniev just lost to somebody. No. Blades beat Kuniev. I'm thinking of the wrong division. I'm thinking of light heavyweight. Kuniev lost to Blades but beat Almeida. That's how he got into the rankings. If he lost the decision to Blades by a split decision, oof, I don't like her fingers being right on the girl's eyes. Going for the rear naked choke is the champion with 1:16 left in the round. Got her hooks in, no body triangle at this point. Looked away and things got wild. Oh. Just trying to smash her face. Man, long time to survive in this position. This is rough. This definitely won her the round. Getting her back, getting close to the choke multiple times. Even if she's not like nearly locked in, it's still dominant when you're smashing somebody's face and back. Ooh, that I don't like that finger in the eye though. That they're just not as apt to call that. So you're trying to pry your opponent's head up for the choke. Doggos, quit. Open the window again. Right. Round ends. All right. So yeah, we got Tom Aspinall is still the champ. Surreal Gone is going to be, I think, losing to Alex Pereira. Be good, dogs. So then you got Volkov, Pavlovich. So Kuniev down here in number 8. Derek Lewis at number 9. Derek Lewis is going up against Hokett at the White House. And then, of course, a lot of things can happen, though. I mean, we got the White House card where the interim title fight's going to happen. This division's gotten a lot more interesting. All right. Am I losing my mind? Where is Jan Blachowicz? He's not in the rankings anymore? Okay, I'm thinking the wrong division again. That's light heavyweight, guys. I'm sorry. Thinking of yeah, and then I was also getting Spivak confused with the guy Blachowicz is supposed to fight next. Sorry, guys. I'm getting divisions confused because so many guys are moving divisions. Back to this, though. Round 2 women's title match. Gotta think the first round went to the champion, having the back and going for the choke for as long as she did. How'd she manage to get it? The girls seem to be able to get tighter rash guards. I just would not want that moving around all over my arms and up and pull up my back while I'm trying to grapple and move around the mat. Tighter rash guard is definitely preferable in jiu-jitsu. Oh, no new comment. Oh, she's got her back again. Dang, that was wild. How'd that even happen? I gotta look back over here. I keep looking back and forth. How did she get? Okay, so she pushes her up against the bowl. Somehow she went from standing to her back like super quick. It was an arm drag. What did she do here? Just trying to grab the back of the tricep, the same side. How did she get? It's an arm drag to a double. Got under the arm and spun around to her back. That was slick. Oh, was it over? I looked away. What happened? Yeah, they're replaying how she got to her back. She must have finished the choke here. I missed it because I was watching that crazy sequence of how she got to her back here. Let's see the finish. Oh, and I just showed her over here. Oh, you know what? She's got like a rear naked choke, but she's cranking her neck very sideways. Dang, that girl is for real, man. Champion defends her belt. Super impressive. That arm, that was like oh, Marcelo Garcia type maneuver there. What are you doing with bug spray?
There.
What we're trying to get from up there. Super impressive. Yeah, I don't know who's gonna take that belt from her. So I know Bellamir is a weight class above. What weight class is the really young girl? Cravar. She might be 145 also. They're both big girls. What's that girl's name? I can't think of it. Super good jiu-jitsu phenom. Trains with John Donaher. Helena Cravar. I'm not sure what weight class she is. She's either 135 or 145. I'd like to see her. I'm pretty sure she's competed on the UFC grappling invitational events, but has not competed in UFC BJJ yet. That would be interesting. Now, I don't know if they do exclusive contracts for UFC BJJ. I think I heard that they were. I can see it for the champions. You want your champions to, you know, not be competing elsewhere. But for everybody else, man, let them get the experience and compete all over. All right. I haven't had the audio up at all. I don't know how the interview girl's been doing. I don't know what her background is, how she got the job, but she didn't seem to know anything about jiu-jitsu when they brought her in for like the first or second UFC BJJ. For just joining me, sorry, I'm eating noodles on the stream. I ran across town, got back, worked out, and my dinner was here. And so, yeah, wanted to get the stream going. So I only ate like a little bit of Chinese food before I sat down. A lot of times when I do these long live streams during an event, I get dinner ordered or it's something I've been cooking all day that's already done. And speaking of cooking, you guys should check out Wolverine's Kitchen, my other channel. It's also on YouTube, and I have Wolverine's Kitchen channel on Rumble. If you're watching on Rumble and you haven't followed my channel, please give me a follow. If you can check out my other channels and follow those, I get a follow for each channel. So whatever channels you follow, that'll add to my total. I'm currently sitting, I believe, at 95 followers. I need 100 to be able to start doing ad reads. And I won't do super annoying ad reads. I'll read the ad, have the link in for whatever I'm advertising in the description, and that's gonna be, you know, like a minute of my 4-hour live stream. So if you guys could do that, that would be great, because then I can actually earn a little bit for doing these videos. I do try to put out, I was trying to do 5 or 6 videos a week. Don't think I've hit that recently, but I'm trying to get as many of these videos out. Okay, so this dude is getting ready to go. Has wins in jiu-jitsu over Aljamain Sterling and Marab. Interesting. This is the dude going against Mikey Musumeci. Mikey Musumeci looks a little goofy with the beard. I'm just going to say it. He should definitely stay shaved. Oh, no. All right. Kevin Dantzler. Is this the guy he's going up against, or did that change also? Guy he's going up against looks pretty sharp, man. Seen some fast submissions from this guy. Here an Eddie Bravo Invitational. Dang, this dude's good. Wow, this guy, from what I'm seeing here, could potentially maybe give Musumeci a run for his money. But I mean, they're showing, you know, his best highlights. So I guess we're gonna see. Yeah, Kevin Dantzler is this guy's name. Born in New Jersey. So 2 Americans competing. The 135 pound belt, I believe. I guess could look right there. Bantamweight, yes, 135. Same as the women's championship. Same weight class. I'm trying to think, was there any other MMA news I want to talk about? I did want to, you know, I like to share positive things. I mean, that's a positive right there. Jim Miller pushing 50 UFC fights, signed another 5-fight contract. That's awesome for him, and he looked really good his last match. I don't remember who he just went up against, but did awesome. Ankalaev versus Roundtree. That's a good matchup, man. Where are those two guys in the rankings? Light heavyweight. Light heavyweight. So Ankalaev is still ranked number 1. So Alex Pereira is leaving. I don't understand why they've got Alex Pereira ranked number 2 and Ankalaev ranked above him after Pereira beat Ankalaev last time around. Why he's even still ranked in the division when he's moving up a weight class doesn't make much sense to me, but whatever. Jan Blachowicz is number 4. Roundtree is number 5. So we got number 5 going up against number 1 ranked. To me, Prochazka should be ranked above Ankalaev. I just think he's got the better wins in the division. I know Ankalaev did have the win over Alex Pereira for the belt, so you got to give him that. Even though Alex just steamrolled him second time around. So yeah, we're gonna get to see number 4 versus number 5. I got a good feeling for Roundtree, man. He's been training with Chimaev. He's been training with Coach Cal at the garage, so you know his cardio is gonna be insane. I just think he's got the tools to potentially beat Ankalaev. Should be interesting to see. But he lost to Yuri. But he had the win over Jamal Hill. Hello. I don't know where he is. I think he's in his room. Well, just a second. Jojo, can you take the phone to Nate? I'm doing my live stream here. Hang on. I'm sending Jojo that way. Take that to Nate. All right. Sorry guys. All right. So getting ready for our main event here, UFC BJJ. Now I'll talk just a little bit more MMA news before we end the stream here. Probably won't do an MMA stream on Saturday since there's not a UFC. I can't think of any big events happening this weekend. So probably take the weekend off, maybe do a drone video or cooking video. So check out my other channels on Rumble. If you can give me a follow on Rumble, that would be awesome. Yeah, this dude looks really, really good. This should be interesting. All right, so we'll see. This guy gives Mikey a run for his money or not. Looked really good in all the highlights, but of course, highlights are designed to make you look good. Jason Herzog refereeing. So I guess nothing ever came from the whole Jason Herzog was the referee in a bunch of these controversial matches that had unusual betting activity. There was a match not long ago that had unusual betting activity. I'm trying to think which event that was, which match it was. Mikey attacking a leg already. This is dangerous. This guy is very quick though. Oh. Time he's got your leg overhooked. It's a bad thing. A lot of spinning. So, I guess, oh man, he went for a Mikey lock knee bar. All kinds of crazy stuff happening there. I'm trying to think what matchup that was. It just happened a few weeks ago. There's unusual betting activity. They actually contacted the one competitor because people were saying that maybe there was a leaked injury or something because all of a sudden everybody was betting on his opponent. And the guy said, no, I'm fine. And he went out and he won the fight. So maybe some of these things were like, oh, somebody's got an injury. There's somebody leaked an injury. And maybe sometimes these aren't even legitimate things and nobody's actually seen that this person has an injury and people are just putting things out there to try to move the betting line one direction or the other. But he was favored to win, and then all of a sudden he was not favored to win. Everybody was betting on his opponent, and so then, do we need to pull this fight? Do we need to remove the fight from the betting line? A lot of that happening lately. And like I said, Jason Herzog was implicated by a few YouTubers were saying that a lot of the controversial matches were officiated by him, and he got him. Is that the Mikey lock or was that a heel hook? I didn't. All happened so quick. Well, there we go. So we thought maybe this might be a closer match, and then Mikey ends it with an ankle lock in the first round again. Hey, can they find any? Isn't Mikey has such a weird build? It's got to be tough to leg lock him because his legs are so short. He's like all torso. His torso's longer than his legs. Might be an Italian thing. I think I'm kind of built similar, so I should shut up. So, no, that's not the Mikey lock. That's pretty much a heel hook. Modified heel hook almost. Doesn't look like it hurt his knee as much as it actually hurt his ankle. A lot of times he twists the ankle and it actually blows out the knee. Yeah, that one he had it under the armpit instead of up against the neck. He does the Mikey lock, it's locked against his neck, the foot is, and then he cranks on the heel with the arms and rotates his body. It's funny that they call it a Mikey lock because I was just mentioning that I'm sure I have Pancrase events on VHS tape from 25 years ago of Japanese pancrase competitors doing the same move that is now called the Mikey Lock. So he may have won a lot of matches with it, but I don't think he actually invented it. No, they're calling it the Mikey Lock, but it was under his armpit, not up against his neck. I don't know. I thought the Mikey Lock technically had to be up against your neck, but I guess he had the foot under his armpit. Really looks like a heel hook to me, but so I've seen him do it before where he's got the foot locked up against his neck, grabs the heel, and then straightens and extends his body. Because he's kind of twisted, and he untwists, and it cranks that. It's just like a heel hook, though. Same exact effect. Oh, so Mikey Musumeci wins again. Let's. I did want to really quick talking about this matchup, the whole Scott Coker thing. This was what I wanted to read to finish. Sorry guys, back to the turtle. So this was from Conor McGregor. He says, "The Notorious MMA, thank you for all the love and support and encouragement over the last few days, people. I'm feeling very energized entering intense training camp because of it. I'm very grateful for the team I have around me, my coaches and training partners who are fully tuned in for the challenge at hand, and it's a glorious time in our gym. Swipe to see incredible snapshot of sparring with my longtime training partner and friend Nicolasoli MMA, who is in phenomenal condition, pushing me hard with coaches, monitoring our every exchange. I am better than ever, and I relish the opportunity to once again show my mastery in martial arts to the world. Lord Jesus, in your name, please, to inspire the next generation to come. Amen." So I feel like, man, everything I've seen of Conor of late, I feel like this guy is a changed man for the better. What's it? Is it gonna affect his trash talk though, man? Because if you read all that, there were no f bombs. You know, Conor McGregor is notorious. I mean, notorious. It's his nickname, but for throwing the f bomb in there a lot. And can you still trash talk when you've changed your life and become a Christian? That's gonna be an interesting thing. Or him and Max gonna be throwing Bible verses back and forth at each other like Max did with Ilya Tapuria. I thought that was interesting when those guys did that. But yeah, so I mean that's a big positive. I think we're gonna see a highly motivated Conor McGregor. This could be such a great fight come July. I'm super excited for this. I'm excited for the White House card coming up next month. What's our next? Let's look back really quick at all the UFC fights coming up. Of course, we don't have anything this weekend. UFC BJJ just ended. Oh, they're already talking about UFC BJJ 9. Light heavyweight championship. Oh, I missed it. If it comes up on the other screen, I'll pause it here. If I can find my remote. Oh, there it is. All right. Okay, so, all right, guys. So we got Mason Fowler versus Devontae Johnson is the main event. Okay, what happened? This is in Portuguese. I don't know what weight class that is. I believe they said light heavyweight title match. And then we've got Gilbert Burns versus Orlando Montero. So this is our first, big name crossover from the UFC to UFC BJJ. So awesome. We're going to get to see Gilbert Burns compete in UFC BJJ. We got Nick Rodriguez versus Yao Nicolette. I don't know the weight class because it's in Portuguese. We got Fiona Davies versus Amanda Bruce. Bellamere coming back against Michelle Johnson. Achilles Roca versus Felipe Pimente. Rafael Ferreira versus John Chandler. Victor Delibero versus Morris Ramirez. So, some interesting matchups coming up on the next UFC BJJ. I'm stoked to see. And then Anna Lima versus Amanda Maza. It's the opening bout. So, super excited to see Gilbert Burns in there. That's way cool. All right. So, really quick, guys. Let's look at this. So, we got the road to the UFC, and then we've got the UFC Fight Night in Macau, China. Like I said, I think this is going to be at like 4 in the morning our time. Figueroa versus Song. Probably not going to do a live stream because, like I said, I have a crazy busy weekend that weekend. This weekend's super calm, and next weekend's going to be crazy because we got a bunch of BMX races in town and out of town. I had to drive a couple hours or an hour and a half for the one race. They're doing state qualifier races. My son and granddaughter will both be racing in those. Then June 6th, we have UFC Fight Night 278, Muhammad versus Bonfim. What's the full card for that? That's going to be in Las Vegas. So this is the week before the White House card. So we got former champ Bilal Muhammad coming off of 2 straight losses versus Gabriel Bonfim, 19-1. Is Bonfim ranked? Welterweight. Let's look. Welterweight. Bilal Muhammad, number 5. Bonfim, number 11. So he is ranked. It's a big jump up in the rankings. Good opportunity for Bilal Muhammad to try to get back on track and get a win against somebody who's ranked way lower than him. Co-main event, Bernusky. I remember seeing that guy. He was really, really good against Billy Elikana. He was pretty good, but man, Bernusky, that guy was crazy good. 8-0 undefeated against 10-2 Billy Elikana. I believe is he from New Zealand or Australia? Then we got Emmanuel Rodriguez coming off of Ultimate Fighter versus Matt Schnell. That's an interesting matchup. Bruno Silva versus Edgar Chairez. Seen both those guys compete quite a few times. Jesse Chavez versus Eunice Dubin. Those two I'm not super familiar with. 7-0 against 6-1. Brendan Allen against Edmund Shabazian. It's way down on the card. Victor Henry versus Bryce Mitchell. Marcus McGee versus John Giannis. Jordan Levitt versus Joe Anderson Brito. Fariz Yam versus Tom Nolan. Ketlin Souza versus Ariana Carnelosi. Those girls both familiar. Priscilla Cachoeira versus Chelsea Chandler. Pretty decent card for a fight night. I mean, for the lead in to, you know, one of the biggest events ever, the UFC White House card, June 14th. So we have no fights this weekend. Then we've got the Macau fight. What other fights are on that? Let's look at it really quick. Yeah, I don't see myself getting up at 4 in the morning to see Song Yadong versus Davidson Figueiredo. No offense to either of those guys. Then we got Mingyong Zhang versus Alonzo Minifield. Sergey Pavlovich. Whoa, that one's got some heavyweight consequences there. That one's a pretty meaningful fight. Kai Asakura versus Cameron Smotherman. Cameron Smotherman, we talked about him. He was the one that passed out after the weigh-ins last time he was supposed to fight. made weight, stepped off the scale, few steps across the stage, face planted, was pulled from the card. Carlston Harris, Jake Matthews, Alex Perez. I believe is he ranked at flyweight? I think he is. Sumadurji. I'm just looking at some of these other names and they're not flying off the page at me. Angela Hill. Heck yeah. Always love seeing her fight. Angela Overkill Hill. She's awesome. I like her fighting style. She may not, 18 and 16 doesn't sound the greatest, but like majority of our fights are in the UFC against top level competition, and she's always exciting. And some of those 16 losses are very controversial, very close decisions. Started out the night with a girl fight. I don't know any of the rest of these fighters, but cool. So Angela Hill fighting a girl who's 19 and 2. Yeah, I'll try to talk about this maybe that Sunday night if I can get the fights watched at some point, but I'm gonna be super busy that weekend, so we'll see. Be working the races here in town and then driving to the race out of town. My dog is very noisily licking himself. Atlas, quit it. All right, yeah. So an interesting card, but like not interesting enough that it's not like the Australia card was. That Australia card was nuts, man. People who were disappointed in that card, and then people that said, "Oh, the crowd was bored because they did the beer snake in the crowd." No, they're Australians. They're crazy. Of course, they're gonna do a beer snake in between fights. I didn't even know what a beer snake was until that event, though. Okay, so then we got the White House. Then we got Kopp versus Horiguchi. So they are giving Kopp a, main event fight on a fight night. This is his chance to prove he's actually going to show up and fight. Horiguchi, 36 and 5. That's a crazy record. 22 and 7 for Manel Kopp. Horiguchi fought Mighty Mouse for the belt forever ago and lost, of course. Now making another run towards the title. If he were to beat Manel Kopp, there's no denying that guy a title shot really soon. We got Giga Jakazi versus Vincius Oliveira. This is at featherweight. Was featherweight the weight class he fought in before? Who did he just fight? Who Vincius? We just saw him fight not that long ago, and he was way too big for the division. He fought Mario Batista, so that would have been 135, right? Yeah. So moving up a weight class, he definitely needs to. Absolutely, that guy should not be fighting at 135. So 145, that's a good move for him. And Giga Chikadze, very impressive a few years ago, but not been on a real hot streak lately. So that's a good matchup for him. This should be a pretty good fight. Carol Rosa versus Luana Santos. It's a good girl fight. Fareed Basharat versus this is a match we've been talking about. That's going to be a good one. Christian Rodriguez versus Hyder Emil. Another girl fight. Two girls I'm not very familiar with. Then we got Ian Kutlaba versus Navajo Sterling. Holy smokes, that could be fight of the night. That should be interesting. Wow. I've heard of these guys. Nascimento and Raposo. Seen them fight. Lima and Boras. What other fights? Yeah, we got so many good fights coming up this summer. That card I will definitely, unless I'm out of town. If I'm out of town and I can get to my computer and like watch the fights live, I'll still try to do a live stream, guys, because I do have my MacBook now, so I should be able to do, if I'm at a hotel when the fights are on, a short live stream. Can't guarantee it because if I am out of town, I don't know. We'll see. All right. So, We got that one. Then we've got Fiziev versus Torres. The weekend after that, Manuel Torres, he's towards the bottom of the rankings, but supposed to be pretty good. Have to watch some of his fights. This guy, I can never pronounce his last name, from Poland. He's tough as heck. I don't know about this Magomedov. I think who he is. Oh, Shara Bullet versus Michelle Pereira. That's gonna be fireworks, man. That's a good one. Charles Johnson versus this young man from Uzbekistan, I believe. Bruno Ferreira versus Ikram. We saw Ikram a few years ago in a big fight. Unknown fighter. Sounds tough. Abdul Rahman Yayev versus Julius Walker. Beksat Almakan versus Gene Matsumoto. Names sound familiar, but I can't remember their fights off the top of my head. Then we got, another guy coming off of Ultimate Fighter, Daniil Donchenko. I believe he won against Andreas Gustafsson. The dude with all the Viking tattoos? I think he is. Got a guy from Ukraine versus, I believe, a Viking. Nazim Zadikov. I'm pretty sure he's pretty darn good too. We got some. These are some really good matchups. Even on these cards that are, fight night cards, we've got some really interesting, amazing matchups. And we go straight from that to International Fight Week, McGregor versus Holloway. I don't know if we've got anything for this one. Probably not. Oh, we have one fight announced. Probably not going to be the main event. Oh, wow. Now we have quite a few fights announced for that card, but I don't think that's probably not set in stone as the main event. They're probably looking for a main event for this fight, and I don't think we're going to see Kevin Holland unless he gets on a really good win streak. Main eventing even a fight night card anytime soon. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for tonight's show. Man, a bunch of you on right now, guys. What's up? We got showing 5 people on YouTube and 2 still on Rumble. So YouTube, this is the first night I've had more people on YouTube, which is pretty wild considering I have a lot more subscribers on YouTube from years and years ago than I do followers on Rumble. But if you guys are on Rumble, give me a follow because I'm trying to hit that 100 mark so I can start running some ad reads. But we're going to call it a night. I'm going to go eat some more Chinese food and recover from my workout. And I will see you on the next live stream. Like I said, I might do a live stream sometime next week if there is any interesting MMA news. My Just News live streams that aren't following a fight, aren't going along with an actual event happening live, are on Rumble exclusively. So if you're not on Rumble, get on Rumble. It's free. It's just like YouTube. Get a free account. Follow me on there so I can hit that 100 follower mark. I do enjoy that I got a lot of comments tonight. Some of them didn't necessarily make a ton of sense. I did share the link for the UFC BJJ in the comments. A bunch of you dropped off. All right, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. God bless. Have a great night. Check out all my channels, my cooking channel, my drone channel. Of course, Turtle Vision will be up streaming again shortly. I have to turn that off in order to do another live stream. I can't do 2 live streams at the same time. Notice my dog Ivar photobombing in the background. All right, but we're going to call that good for tonight. So see you guys next time. Night.